Hello, and welcome to this session of Scrum Master Certification course. This chapter includes the processes related to initiation of a project. Create project vision, identify Scrum Master and business stakeholders, form Scrum Team, develop epics, create prioritized product backlog, and conduct release planning. Initiate phase, as defined in A Guide to the Scrum Body of Knowledge, is applicable to portfolios, programs, and/or projects in any industry, products, services, or any other results to be delivered to business stakeholders, projects of any size or complexity. Let's briefly understand each process that is a part of the initiate phase. The first process in this phase is the create project vision. In this process, the project business case is reviewed to create a project vision statement that will serve as the inspiration and provide focus for the entire project. The product owner is identified in this process. The second process is the identify Scrum Master and business stakeholders. In this process, the Scrum Master and business stakeholders are identified using specific selection criteria. The third process is the Form Scrum Team process. In this process, Scrum Team members are identified. Normally, the product owner has the primary responsibility of selecting team members, but often does so in collaboration with the Scrum Master. The fourth process is the Develop Epics process. In this process, the project vision statement serves as the basis for developing epics. User group meetings may be held to discuss appropriate epics. The fifth process is the Create Prioritized Product Backlog process. In this process, epics are refined, elaborated, and then prioritized to create a prioritized product backlog for the project. The done criteria is also established at this point. The sixth and last process in this phase is the Conduct Release Planning process. In this process, the Scrum Core team reviews the user stories in the prioritized product backlog to develop a release planning schedule, which is essentially a phased deployment schedule that can be shared with the project business stakeholders. The length of the sprints is also determined in this process. Now, we're going to learn about the Create Project Vision process. The input to this process is Project Business Case. A project business case may be a well-structured document or simply a verbal statement that expresses the rationale for initiating a project. It may be formal and comprehensive or informal and brief. Regardless of format, it often includes substantial information on the background of the project, the intended business purpose and desired outcomes, a SWOT and gap analysis report, a list of identified risks, and estimations of time, effort, and costs. The project commences with the presentation of the project business case. A business case is presented to the business stakeholders and sponsors. The business stakeholders understand the expected business benefits of the project, and the sponsors confirm that they will provide the financial resources for the project. The tool used during this process is Project Vision Meeting. A project vision meeting is a meeting with the business stakeholders, Program Product Owner, Program Scrum Master, and Chief Product Owner. It helps identify the business context, business requirements, and business stakeholder expectations in order to develop an effective project vision statement. Scrum believes in closely engaging and collaborating with all business representatives to get their buy-in for the project and to deliver greater value. The outputs of this process are identified product owner and project vision statement. One of the outputs of this process is the identification of the product owner. The product owner is the person responsible for achieving maximum business value for the project. He or she is also responsible for articulating customer requirements and maintaining business justification for the project. The product owner represents the voice of the customer. Each Scrum team will have a designated product owner. A small project may have only one product owner, whereas larger projects may have several. These product owners are responsible for managing their sections of the prioritized product backlog. Product owners write the user stories and manage and refine the prioritized product backlog. The product owner role is described in more detail in section 3.4 of the SBOK Guide, 4th edition. Project Vision Statement. The key output of the Create Project Vision process is a well-structured project vision statement. A good project vision explains the business need the project is intended to meet, rather than how it will meet the need. The project vision statement should not be too specific and should have room for flexibility. It is possible that the current understanding of the project may be based on assumptions that will change as the project progresses. So it is important that the project vision is flexible enough to accommodate these changes. The project vision should focus on the problem rather than the solution. Now we're going to learn about the Identify Scrum Master and business stakeholders. The inputs to this process are product owner and project vision statement. The product owner and project vision statement is described in Module 2 that deals with the Create Project Vision process. The tool used in this process is the selection criteria. Selection criteria. Selecting appropriate Scrum Master and identifying relevant business stakeholders is crucial to the success of any project. In some projects, there may have been preconditions stipulating certain team members and their roles. When there is flexibility in choosing Scrum Master, the important selection criteria are problem-solving skills. This is one of the primary criteria to be considered while selecting Scrum Masters. The Scrum Masters should have the necessary skills and experience to help remove any impediments from the Scrum team. Availability. The Scrum Master should be available to schedule, oversee, and facilitate various meetings, including the release planning meeting, daily stand-up meeting, and other sprint-related meetings. Commitment. The Scrum Master should be highly committed to ensure that the Scrum team is provided with a conducive work environment to ensure successful delivery of Scrum projects. And finally, supporting leadership style. For more detail, please refer to section 3.10.4.1 of the SBOK Guide, 4th edition. The outputs of this process are identified Scrum Master and identified business stakeholders. Identified Scrum Master. A Scrum Master is a facilitator and supporting leader who ensures that the Scrum team is provided with an environment conducive to completing the project successfully. The Scrum Master guides, facilitates, and teaches Scrum practices to everyone involved in the project, clears impediments for the team, and ensures that Scrum processes are being followed. It is the responsibility of the product owner to identify the Scrum Master for a Scrum project. The Scrum Master role is described in more detail in section 3.5 of the SBOK Guide, 4th edition. Identified business stakeholders. Business stakeholders is a collective term that includes customers, users, and sponsors, frequently interface with the Scrum core team, and influence the project throughout the product development process. It is for the business stakeholders that the project produces the collaborative benefits. Now, we're going to learn about the Form Scrum Team process. The inputs in this process are Product Owner, Scrum Master, and Project Vision Statement. The tool used in this process is Scrum Team Selection Criteria. Scrum Team Selection Criteria. The Scrum Team is the core of any Scrum project, and getting the right team members is important for successful delivery of Scrum projects. Scrum team members are generalists and specialists in that they have knowledge of various fields and are experts in at least one. Beyond their subject matter expertise, it is the soft skills of team members that determine the success of self-organizing teams. Ideal members of the Scrum team are independent, self-motivated, customer-focused, responsible, and collaborative. The team should be able to foster an environment of independent thinking and group decision-making in order to extract the most benefits from the structure. The output of Form Scrum Team process is Identified Scrum Team. The Scrum Team, sometimes referred to as the Development Team, is a group or team of people who are responsible for understanding the business requirements, specified by the product owner, estimating user stories, and final creation of the project deliverables. We are going to learn about the Develop Epics process. The inputs to this process are Scrum Core Team. The Scrum Core Team consists of the Scrum Team, the Scrum Master, and the Product Owner as described in Section 3.3.1 of the SBOK Guide 4th edition. Project Vision Statement. The Project Vision Statement is described in detail in Section 8.1.3.2 of the SBOK Guide 4th edition. Another input is Business Stakeholders. It is described in detail in Section 8.2.3.2 of the SBOK Guide 4th edition. The tool used in the Develop Epics process is User Group Meetings. User Group Meetings. User group meetings involve relevant business stakeholders who are primarily users or customers of the product. They provide the Scrum Core Team with first-hand information about user expectations. This helps in formulating the acceptance criteria for the product and provides valuable insights for developing epics. These meetings also promote buy-in for the project and create a common understanding among the Scrum Core Team and relevant business stakeholders. The outputs of the Develop Epics process are epics and personas. Epics. Epics are written in the initial stages of the project, when most user stories are high-level functionalities or product descriptions, and requirements are broadly defined. They are large, unrefined user stories in the Prioritized Product Backlog. Once these epics come into the Prioritized Product Backlog for completion in an upcoming sprint, they are then broken down into smaller, more granular user stories. These smaller user stories are generally simple, short, and easy to implement functionalities or blocks of tasks to be completed in a sprint. Personas. Personas are highly detailed fictional characters, representative of the majority of users and of other business stakeholders who may not directly use the end product. Personas are created to identify the needs of the target user base. Creating specific personas can help the team better understand users and their requirements and goals. Based on a persona, the product owner can more effectively prioritize features to create the prioritized product backlog. Creating a persona involves assigning a fictional name and preferably a picture, like a stock image, to the character. The persona will include highly specific attributes such as age, gender, education, environment, interests, and goals. Thank you for watching this video of Scrum Master Certification course.